up late nights on a Saturday. Not at the club, wish I had a day just to turn up. Have to say my time's burnt up. Something like my pockets in the saddest way. Reality TV just laughs at me. Kinda like those bullies in high school. Behind the scenes was catastrophe. So could everyone quit telling me what I had to be? Just to be simple with you, brother, I'm truly glad to be a fuck up. Cause right now I'm down, so homie, what's up? I know I didn't grow to get here by being stuck up. Some people out seeing how much energy they can suck up, but I'm filling the cup up, passing it to my brothers. Maybe one day I'll buy a house for my mother. Up on the mountain, awesome, helipad so I can visit often. Send my dad golfing off with Steve Austin, stone cold focused. Cause I'm looking for my way to the top. I've been working all day, working all night. Some people telling me to just stop, but I can't leave my family hungry, sleeping at night. There's no way, no. There's no way. There's no way, no. There's no way for me to come home. It's been a minute now, milking every opportunity. I should get a cow, never seen an obstacle that I couldn't get around. But I'm not from royalty, so I didn't get a crown. These thoughts were written down for those who sit and frown. Complain every day about the blessings they were given. How do you suppose those bros in Africa are living now? Maybe you could see the light if I could shift the clouds. So I'll try, but man, look how time flies. This year came and went like drive-bys. Mama still says she's surprised by my size, but this cat survives, still got my 9 lives. So what you wanna do? Go home, relax for 5 days cause you wanted to? I'd rather be out in Bombay, but I ain't mad at you. I'm not at home to stay, I'm just passing through. There's things I have to do. Cause I'm looking for my way to the top. I've been working all day, working all night. Some people telling me to just stop, but I can't leave my family hungry, sleeping at night. There's no way, no. There's no way. There's no way, no. There's no way for me to come home. I've been in the office, they asking me where I'm off. I'm thinking that I fell off, it's a bad decision to start off with. If I don't call back, don't be mad at me. Home and family is surely somewhere that I'd rather be. I've been on the road for just too long, hoping that I'll come soon, no. When that'll be, man, who knows? We guarantee I'll have something to show. Most of y'all complacent, none of y'all got patience. I know that for a fact, cause I'm part of that equation. Learned from the school of life, and this is orientation. Nothing could prepare me for what I recently been facing. Some say that gravity is too strong, but when you love, you really can't do wrong. So I'm sorry I can't move on, but I couldn't leave without this new song. Hey, cause I'm looking for my way to the top. I've been working all day, working all night. Some people telling me to just stop, but I can't leave my family hungry, sleeping at night. There's no way, no. There's no way. There's no way, no. There's no way for me to come home. Cause I'm looking for my way to the top. I've been working all day, working all night. Some people telling me to just stop, but I can't leave my family hungry, sleeping at night. There's no way, no. There's no way. There's no way, no. There's no way for me to come home.
Beautiful. 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 Doing great to see everybody. DeFi guy, Mustafa, Ahmed, good to see you. Easy Tiger, good to see you. Antonio, good to see you. We got the whole crew in the house. Everyone here is ready to accelerate, folks. It's great to be here. We are just getting started. If you're one of the people participating in today's session number 1 of the AccelerateOnEarth program, then make sure you're in that Discord voice channel. We're going to be hopping in there very soon. This is indeed, I think, the required shirt for such an occasion here. We got our DCL shirt rocking ready. Whoever comes to a conference, we'll hook you up with one of these. We are definitely lined up to make sure that you are successful in your DAO proposal. For everybody tuning in, my name is Kevin on Earth. I am a DCL reporter. I am also the founder of basically a metaverse, I don't want to say consulting, I want to say creative think tank and execution group called Imagine on Earth. We've been working with brands across Web3 for some time now. Without getting into detail, this is a special program we put together for free for creatives in the community to have a better opportunity at accessing over $240,000 worth of grant funding from places like Decentraland, but there are some other opportunities here, and I'm seeing this evolve, and I'm happy to be in a position where people see our community as a talented group of creators. They want to bring these opportunities. So I got contacted by Landworks to work with them to make sure you also know about another grant opportunity that they're releasing. They have over $50,000 worth of grant funding for builders to create just about anything, a venue, a runway show, whatever it may be. So we're talking about $240,000 up to $240,000 in DCL DAO. Here we have another $50,000. So today we're literally putting at least $290,000 in front of every creator that's out there right now. You know what you can do with that, folks? When I started my first company, I think I raised like $40,000 was the first little bit that I raised, and trust me, I had to pay an arm and a leg for that. And seeing an opportunity like this means that people in the creative economy are going to have opportunities to birth their ideas. There is a path, there is a way. I've been telling all my friends, all my people about this. So if you're here today, it means you're probably an artist, a creator, somebody, or maybe somebody who has a friend who they want to tell this about, who's like, yo, I have an idea. everything that's in the metaverse is getting rebuilt for the first time. And pretty much anything can be recreated, whether it be an art gallery, whether it be a corporate office. There's so many different ways that you could think about building things in the metaverse. But how do you get approved for these grants? How can you be approved? Is it possible? I can tell you personally, yes. Yes, folks, it is possible. Not only is it possible, but I've done it multiple times now. And I say that with excitement, not in the sense like we've been able to reinvest that money in a way that the community continues to trust us. We started with small grant proposals, very small. Let me show you. Started with small things, adding a point of interest. We had this was something that we tested. That was like whether or not remove voting power from banned names. People rejected. This is a poll, so this isn't a grant. There are different kinds of DAO proposals, and each DAO you're gonna find, they have different kinds of proposals, but typically they all have a grant. Now this is important because I keep saying this: the best way to grow in this space is by helping build it. There is so much grant funding, not only from DCL's DAO, from Landworks. But now, just recently, Jadu AR, they're minting on the 30th. Jadu AR just announced that their entire funds from their mint is going to go into a community treasury. 100% of the proceeds will go into a community treasury. Folks, that's a lot. That is a lot of money right there. We're talking millions here, folks. Let's just see on the low end right here. I know it's going to be more than this, but let's just say 0.222. That's 2,466 ETH. Let's say 1,600. That's nearly 4 million right there. So the biggest opportunity right now in the market, you can forget your rug pulls. You can forget your chasing down Discord groups to get the next big project that's going to jump out. You are the next big project. You need to invest in yourself at this time. You need to invest in your ideas. There are opportunities. This program is a free program to give you the opportunities which help me get to where I am. People have been asking me if I can do these at different times, if I can do these one-on-one. I would love to do this one-on-one, but to be honest, if I was to do this one-on-one, I'd have to charge you too much. And I don't want to do that. I don't want me charging you $250 an hour to coach you to be a barrier between this value getting to everyone that's out there. Rather than do it for $250 an hour, I can do it for free for 2 hours every week and do it for everybody. And we can have specific people here who have applied on our website through this application process. They have applied, and I have handpicked the people who are the most prepared. So before getting to this, shout out to our sponsors, Expand and Landworks, who make everything what we do possible. And I want to make sure that y'all are ready to accelerate on Earth. I'm going to hop in on the Discord channel call right now. I see people are there. And I think where we're going to start with a little roll call. All right, we're going to start with a little roll call here. We are in the Discord group. If you're in the Discord group, I suggest maybe at this point you would turn off the audio for Twitch. I'm going to share my screen here in Discord. So if you're in the program and you're in the Discord, you can just tune in to the presentation there so that you don't get it on a lag from what I'm saying, if that makes sense. And to start, I'm going to go through some roll call, and I'm going to just basically go down this list. These are all the people who said that they were going to be in this program. I know a lot of them might not be able to come because of different time division, different time zones. So for that sake, they will get to see the replay of this. The benefit of being here is that you'll be able to have your questions answered. I'll be able to work one-on-one with you here in these sessions, in these group sessions. And that's the benefit. So when I call your name, just give a little, hey, I'm here, and give a little introduction of yourself. First up we have is Metatrekkers. Metatrekkers, are you here?
Hi guys, good morning.
Good morning. Good morning. We got the Meta Trekkers here in the house. Good morning. Do you want to kind of do a little 1-2 introduction on yourself and what you guys are doing and what your plan is for the DAO proposal?
Okay, hi everyone. So I have one of my coworkers as well with me, Gerald. So we are meta checkers, and we are our project is in line with to educate the community about Web3. Um, that includes NFTs, blockchain, and metaverse. So I just want to keep it short for
Let's
now.
go. I think that's perfect. Well done. Congratulations, and congratulations on being here.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Big Nasty.
Thank you as well.
Big Nasty. Are you?
Morning, how are we?
Morning, morning. How are you doing?
Good, good. So yeah, I'm Big Nasty, and I'm here with Ahmad. He's my partner in this, and we're doing a project called DCL Tutors, where we're basically going to be teaching full Blender courses through YouTube, where people are going to be able to learn the most basic steps of Blender and creating in Decentraland to like the most advanced aspects of it.
Amazing.
So it's gonna be really fun, and then we're also gonna be hosting, live events. Kind of be trying to host like almost like a school for Blender and like Blender specific stuff, Decentraland specific stuff.
Sick. Perfect. Thanks for being here, Big Nasty. Also, an On Earth badge holder. Drop some nines in chat for Big Nasty. Let's go. Awesome. Azulino Luis is Azulino here.
Hey Kevin,
Hello, how are you?
guys.
Awesome to have you here. Congratulations on making it here today. You want to give a little introduction?
Hey guys, I'm Antonio. I'm also more in the Blender side, but I'm kind of lost. I'm trying to see if I can come up with a nice proposal through this course and
Awesome.
this program. And I'm a 3D modeler and artist. I like to build stuff. I like to project spaces and create assets, this kind of stuff. And so let's see what's going on, what's gonna happen.
Absolutely.
Nice.
Well, one of the things that Azolino Antonio, what really caught me in your application was your interest in creating the furniture and decoration shop for HomePods.
Yeah, this kind of stuff.
That for me was like we need to see. So I was curious. So people are gonna come in here at different stages. Some people already have finished drafts of grants. Some people might have their ideas in their head and a couple things sketched out. So it's totally okay, whatever position you. And there's no win or lose here, folks. There is no you're gonna get to the end of this program and you're gonna be smarter and more knowledgeable on how to be successful in these DCL DAO grants and any DAO grant. I can guarantee you that. So like whether or not you go through this and you're watching or you're participating and you're coming out of this with an approved grant, which is completely possible and is what a big part of our goal is, or if it's something that is now a framework of knowledge for you to spend maybe the next month or build the right team around or make adjustments so you can do your at the end of the day value will be created. So I appreciate and I hope that you will share this knowledge and these opportunities with other artists, because the reason I'm doing this for free is because I want to see us make the biggest impact possible. My dream come true with this program would be to say in one round together that we could get approved more than $1 million in grant funding for the creative economy. Imagine what kind of statement we could make about how impactful this space can be for people like us if we do that. And it's totally possible. And instead of us all going at our own ways, this program I spent hours and hours and hours crafting so we together can make one push to most efficiently get as many grants passed as possible. So that is the mission here, and I appreciate you coming through and bringing your talent to that, Antonio. And the opportunities aren't just going to be in the DCL grant. As I said, there is also the Landworks grant that now is available, the Open Scenes grant program. So you might even be able to apply to 2 grants, or maybe you have one part of the grant that one of the part of the project you want to do that could be done with the Landworks grant, and one that could be done with the DCL grant. The opportunities are here. There's over $290,000 for each one of you to see access to. Like, each one of us could access $240,000 in grants and access part of that $50,000 plus. Like, at the end of the day, it all comes down to where you are. And I do want to tether this back to reality and say, this isn't about getting a one-off success. This is about a journey. Starting small and getting big. And this program is going to be about that journey, about my journey and how I discovered and how I've been able to get approved for, at this point, 4 different DCL grants. I was also part of actually 5 DCL grants, because I was also part of the group that got the first ever DCL grant approved. The first ever DCL grant that was ever made, I was on the team that made that. So I really understand the process and what the expectations are. So, enough on that. NFT sommelier, NFT sommelier. I don't know how to pronounce that.
Sommelier.
Sommelier. Okay, he might not be here. I think he said he might have a partner here, or maybe he would have to hold off till next month. So, and that's totally okay as well, because some people express interest. Some other people express interest, and maybe life changes in the meantime. Low Key Giant, are you here? And that's also why I'm, running like roll call, so I know who's actually. Okay, so that would be Anthony Howard. Yeah. Okay. No worries. Tony RHI. Autonomous Domesticated Animals Project. That would have been pretty cool. All right. Tony, if you pop up, let me know. Fractillions.
Hey.
Hey.
Hear me?
Fractillions, what time is it where you are right now?
I woke up at 4:30 in the morning.
Y'all, frickin' make some noise for frickin', well, lightly, because it's kind of early in the morning.
I'm in Maui, so I'm over in the islands, so it's a little early. The chickens are crowing, wondering what the hell I'm doing up.
Fractillions is an example of what it takes to be successful, and like I tell you, as much as it is hard, I think I've seen the secret to her success is that she really enjoys what she does. So that gives her the energy to wake up in the morning. Am I right on that?
Well, hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
I'm
Awesome.
giggling, drinking coffee at the same time, like, I'm gonna do it.
Nice. Well, do you want to tell us a bit about like what you plan on building?
Well, I think I've been really fascinated, I think since I started first streaming for DCL Reporter around, cross metaverse. A lot of my reports have been about that. So I kind of want to explore creation and education, creating and educating the community. I can't even speak right now. I want to create and educate the community about cross metaverse asset creation. So explore interop, assets, wearables, avatars, events, and world building in that sense. And
Absolutely.
I take and kind of explore within CryptoVoxels, within Monaverse, within Decentraland, and kind of a lot of the linked wearable kind of ideas that have been happening, but also take it to another level and kind of like something really cool around that, which is just where
People
I think right now I'm just, and it's just fun, like you said, it's something that fascinates me, and we'll see where it goes.
Absolutely.
But thank you for having me here. Stoked to be here, and I'm really stoked about it. What everyone's presented so far. I can't wait to see what everyone does.
Absolutely. But one of the things that got me really excited about what you said, because in the way you described it, you said an education wearable creation adventure. So I like the idea of you creating an adventure or like some sort of storyline experience around learning how to create 3D wearables.
And more.
And more. Like
world building and also avatar creation. I mean, and linked.
Oh my
I mean, that's
gosh.
like the whole linked wearable thing, and also obviously, like when you like crypto avatars, that kind of thing. Because I've been doing a lot of avatar creation. So
like, what if you had a way like where even like just using storyline methods, like being able to say like, hey, like we have this. We have to save like some NFT character, blah blah blah. They need a place to go. Like we need to create a.
Totally, you're thinking, oh.
We're on the same page. Like this is why I was like excited. So good stuff.
Woo.
It's gonna be fun.
Keep going, man. I'm not gonna stop you.
Hey, that's what this is about. We're gonna pull this together, and also I want to say by the end of this session, I do want to go through the stuff. But by the end of the session, let's make a point to like kind of survey what the best time is, because we don't necessarily have to do it at this time. This is the first time. I appreciate you being here, Fractillions. Some people said that there would be a potentially better time, so by the end, I'll just say I'm totally open towards like rediscussing what the best time might be for us to do this. Cool. Is Lena Lisabona? Our wearables champion. I think it might be maybe out of her office hours right now. So I know for a fact that she's gonna probably hit me up after this, so I'll make note. Fabinho DCL. Maybe Fabinho's here. Fabinho's not here. Let's see. Deco Art. I got you next year.
How are you?
How are you, man? Do you want to introduce yourself? Talk a bit about your project.
Okay.
Air races
Hello.
and non-gravity spaces. That was like what really caught my attention.
Okay. I'm DCUT. I'm an artist from Colombia, and I'm creator and build in Metaverse, in the Decentraland and crypto boxes right now. My proposal for Accelerating on Earth is space multiverse and for a creative concept of the space and teleport points and rise races.
Yes.
Race.
Nice.
And
did you see Vroomway?
Yeah. It is more complicated to develop it for me. I have a lot of ideas.
I think you might need to turn off something feedback there. Sorry. I'm not sure why something got changed there, but I totally, and for that matter, even if there is something that is similar or more complicated than what you have already, it doesn't mean that you can't find new ways to approach the same problem. So like for that matter, don't feel demotivated if you see people doing things that you're already doing. We need a diverse ecosystem. Art or die? We got art or die in the house.
Kevin?
Yes.
Also, Ahmad wanted to speak for like the DCL tutor stuff too. Just like introduce himself.
Yeah, absolutely.
If that's okay. Ahmad?
Hey, I am Ahmad, and I am together with Big Nasty building the DCL tutors. So the reason we are making this is because recent times we have seen a lot of people join Decentraland and they wanted to create variables and scenes for their plots, they rented or both. But when they search for how to make those things, they saw that they are made in Blender, but they never used Blender before, and they do not have knowledge, not even basic knowledge of the Blender. And when not everyone can go to the documentation and find the solution for their problems, and there is no reliable collection of videos or tutorials that you can search on YouTube or any other platform for the variable creation or the issues involved. So that's our goal, to fix that problem and provide a reliable platform for everyone to come and learn the process of creating variables and scenes. And we will also make the tutorials in a way that the existing Decentraland artist can be a better artist.
I love that. So
Blender.
literally what you're doing could allow anybody to go ahead and apply for one of those. Like right now this Landworks grant is like you build anything. Like if you build like a fashion runway, an art gallery, whatever it may be, and you submit it to the Landworks, you can get up to 10,000, 20,000, get your piece of $50,000 plus in grant funding. So literally if people were to be in that DCL tutors program, they would have a developing skill set that would put them in line to apply for these opportunities like Landworks. So I definitely see value in something like that. Thank you for that introduction, Ahmad.
Yeah, it's definitely about, teaching people how to create a foundation of Blender, because when you're learning Blender just for Decentraland, you run into a lot of holes that'll become obstacles later on because you just don't have like a steady foundation of learning,
It's true. And in many ways, what we're talking about doing is building these bridges through everyone here and every little vertical that we are passionate about. So it really is on these pioneers to lay the groundwork so that we can grow this space. So we said Art or Die. I don't think they had someone here today. Bay Beckner, is Bay here? Might be a bad time for him too. Not a problem. Well, we got a solid group here, and is there anybody here who didn't get a chance to introduce themselves that was hoping to do that? All right, appreciate y'all.
Hi.
Oh,
I can do. Hey, I can do a little introduction. Hey, how are you doing?
Yes, we have to introduce Taxir. I forgot Taxir here. I forgot to add you on. We got to introduce Taxir. How you doing?
Yeah, all's good. Ali and I are in here. Ali is under the name of Karaki. You can see him on the screen.
Yes.
So Taxir is a MENA-based initiative. MENA as in Middle East and North Africa, and
Think I lost him. Oh, he went muted. Amar, you went muted. Can y'all still hear me?
yeah, I can hear you. Sorry.
Okay. No worries. You want it one more time? Just sorry, when muted.
Yeah. So Taxir is a MENA-based initiative, MENA as in Middle East and North Africa, and we are working towards facilitating and accelerating blockchain adoption in MENA, in the region. We started with a small grant proposal to Decentraland DAO, and although it didn't pass, something better happened. We got to meet Kevin, we got to meet the people from CBD, Community Building Decentraland, and we are exploring and joining group tours and streams, and it's been fascinating actually. And we are excited for applying again for a MENA strategy for Decentraland to bring Decentraland to the gaming communities in the Middle East and North Africa. And yeah, we have, I'm sure we have a lot to learn here. We're just excited to be here.
Oh, great. It's great to have you here. I really enjoyed our last conversation. And I knew that this would be the right place to take the next steps for y'all. So thanks for being here.
Thanks.
Absolutely. Let's see. So now we're at the point where I'm ready to start getting things going. I pretty much broke down the remainder of our time is going to be spent in a very short overview. I want to spend most of the time doing these sort of like workshops. So, I'll tell you this, like, I learned something when I was applying to music school. So I started playing piano when I was 18, and I had to apply to Berklee College of Music. I didn't get accepted the first year. It was a very difficult school to get into. It took me 3 years of applying to get in. And in that 3 years, the thing I realized was that I wasn't making the actual growth during my sessions with my tutor. It was actually in between those sessions, and the tools that he gave me to work in between those sessions and breaking things down into 1 hour a day that I can dedicate to working on this in the morning and ideally in the afternoon as well. That was like one of the best skills that I've learned, and I definitely apply to my current life as well. And many of you probably are already doing that, but I will say, I just want to preface the session with saying the real value that's going to come from this is going to be in between these sessions, between us this week and next week. And my job is to give you the tools to make sure that you can refine your ideas so that in between each session, you're getting so much stronger. You can devote your brain power to the right things within those key hours, so you can grow at the fastest pace. And if it wasn't somebody who had already done what you're trying to learn how to do, then I wouldn't take their opinion. So I wouldn't be giving you this information. I wouldn't be trying to show you how to do this if I hadn't already done it myself, because I think that that's just not genuine. So in this case, I felt I was prepared to be able to do this, and so here we are. I'm going to go into our presentation. You can always drop any questions that you have along the way, and I definitely encourage that in our AccelerateOnEarth Discord channel, which is, you'll see it, right in our DCL report server. So if you have any questions, anything along the way, feel free to let me know. I'm definitely going to be asking y'all questions and your thoughts, so be ready to interject there. I do want to note before anything that I would ask if y'all can retweet here this post that we have about the Landworks grant that we're doing, if you haven't already. And I've actually promised that every 10 retweets of this post that I just shared there. Oh, here, actually, I don't think that was the right one. I think this is the right one. Every 10 retweets of this post, I'm going to do an airdrop on Expand. What does that mean? Maybe if this is your first time, I got $120,000 from DCL to build this feature right here. One of the features that we built was this mass airdrop. So now as a community, we can literally mass airdrop our entire community. No need to drop your ETH address. No, nothing. You just go on our community page on Expand. You opt in with a little green button you have here on the side. And basically it allows me to airdrop en masse. So we've already reached 12 retweets. So I'm overdue for a airdrop. So I'm going to show you how awesome this is. And anybody in the community is going to be able to do this. We built this tool, and as soon as our testing phases are done and our security checks are done, our audits are done, we'll be able to open this up for other community members to do this. Look at this. Instead of dropping your ETH address, instead of me having to copy and paste things multiple times, instead of you having to drop your ETH address in a Twitter post that gets farmed and so people drop you malicious NFTs, no. You're not at risk at that at all. All I do is click here, boom. Looks like there's 27 people who are available to drop an airdrop to. If you haven't claimed your airdrop, it also prevents me from spamming you. So if you don't want to keep getting airdrop things to your wallet, you don't have to. You have to be willing to accept that. If you don't accept the claim that I made, I can't airdrop you another one. So right here is promised an airdropping to 27 people NFTs from our community smart contract, which is completely secure, and people can monitor what kind of giveaways. So if people give us giveaways and stuff, they know that it's getting sent out. And just like that, with one click, boom, I just airdropped 27 people. And now look, in this, you don't have to see all the people dropping their ETH address. Remember in here, it was like people can actually have conversations and topics about these things rather than just, and look, we're only 5 away from our next airdrop. Boom. So look at this. Airdrop complete. Just like that. And we have 341 of these NFTs loaded into our smart contract. Look at this. Loaded, folks. We are loaded. 341 NFTs that are ready to go. Ready to go. Look at that. I got some Santa hats in here too. Santa hats for days, folks. Just and just to note, because this is related to the DCL DAO grant, like you can claim your tokens here. So like you can actually come in here and set for your community how to disperse your own token. Like if you have a token for Beaverse or for, Meta Trekkers, if Big Nasty's DCL tutor has their own token, and every time you come back and, you can say, hey, subscribe or follow and we'll give you our token each week. This automates the drop for this. So I'm putting this all into context of these DCL DAO grants, because the way we built this and the way we got $120,000 of grant money approved for this was because we built it so other people could benefit from using it as well. not just DCL report, right? So that's going to be the context I want you to think about this, is that we're really solving a problem for the community. There was a bigger problem here that was being solved. Metaverse Genius wants to know what you can do with the report token. I would say this isn't today. I don't want to spend time doing that. I'm gonna actually give you our tokenomics document, and not in this session, but at 7 p.m. I'm going to be streaming again. Check out our tokenomics document. I just dropped the link in our Twitch chat, and you can read through that and learn more about the report token and the things that you can do with that. I'm gonna jump into our. I think we're ready to get started here. I think I've given you good context. And if you have any questions, like I said, drop that in the if you're part of the program, drop that in the AccelerateOnEarth Discord channel, because that's where I'll be able to make sure I see that. I might get lost in the Twitch chat. But what does it cost to get signed up? On what? On Expand? Shake and Bake, it's free. What does it take to get signed up for what? Explain that to me. Okay, last little thing. Make sure you vote for your meta moment for July. I think Snapple's going to win. So what does that mean? That means we're going to make a Snapple themed wearable from this Snapple event. We're going to have something to do with this event. You'll see. We'll drop a wearable to all of our subscribers on Expand. It's free. It's actually, it's free to follow. It's free to be a community creator. You get 90% subscription. Shake and Bake. It is really a dream come true. Yes, you can use it with free users. Exactly. And you can use all that airdrop stuff with free. Yeah, I airdrop these tokens, and like, I can even come here and I can say, like, if I want to look at, right here, I can set different rules. I can give special report token drops, and it can be any token. This can be your own token. Sorry. So right here you have the mod rule. Let me do something here. You have the mod rules, the member rules, the subscriber rules. So you can set different rules to different amounts. You can make them drop weekly, any day of the week. And for your NFT airdrops, you can even click here and look at only subscribers. So if you did want to do an airdrop that was only for subscribers, you could do that. So, and it's all free, folks. It's free to be a community member. They give you 90% of the revenue from your community page. So like, compare that to Twitch on 55%. Like, people. You can have different groups of subscribers. So you can actually come here and set like different subsettings, like if you want different tiers, if you wanted to create different tier benefits. It's very cool. I'm not sure, but I mean, to be honest, Tobik, I'm sure this is the difference between working with a company like Expand. Like, they would be open to your feedback if you told them, hey, I want to have different groups of communities that I bring people in, but it can be free. I'm sure they can do that. Can you explain how the membership stuff works? Shake and Bake, I would prefer to do that at 7 p.m. I'll just leave it at, if you subscribe here, then you get additional report tokens every week, and you can claim them. So you're going to want, now that you've joined, you're going to want to click the opt-in button that you're going to see on the community there. If you do so, it'll add you to our airdrop list. And let's see if our airdrop has hit 20 yet. Once we hit 20, I'm going to hit the next airdrop here. So if y'all want to help get another airdrop out, just retweet there. Yeah. No, they're good right now. It's been great. I've been able to send out payments to all of our reporters, like every 6 months. Fractillions and everybody can attest to this. Like, every 6 months, we actually take all the subscriptions that you make on Expand and we divide it amongst the team. So literally, we've been able to do that, like, automated through Expand. It's magical. So as you can see, literally, I would not have been able to create and do all this stuff if it were not for these DAO grants. I cannot express this enough. My life changed by being able to access this kind of opportunity. I was a nobody creator. Yeah, I was in the right place at the right time because nobody was streaming Decentraland, and I started. But I've been creating music and art for 15 years in the music industry. I have multiple albums. Folks, you can see I got a repertoire here. Like, people, we've been out here doing our thing. So we've been doing it a long time and stagnated for so long. Like, so much work that got put in. Countless releases, countless amounts of music. And all said and done, it was accessing the right opportunity like this that really gave me my break. And even better, it wasn't on the backs of some abusive record label, manager, shady business deal. It's not some backdoor 360 deal where they're going to own 100% of what you build. You can build. You can feel safe as a creator in this space as long as you're doing things to serve other people. If you're doing things maliciously and you're not being genuine to what you say you're going to do, then you won't be safe because people will come after you. I'll come after you. But if you are a genuine person here for the right reasons, then rest assured you already made the right first step. We're going to take you the rest of the way. DeFi guy says, maybe in future there will possibly to have a grant to connect Decentraland to Polkadot via Aster. I don't see why that's not possible, DeFi guy. I don't see why it's not. Make sure, let's see. I'm going to keep an eye on the AccelerateOnEarth chat here. Okay. Pretty interesting. You don't need, I needed a drop system. Literally, Tobik says that's pretty interesting because I needed a drop system for my community, but the users who appear there are the only ones who are paying for the subscription. No, Tobik, anybody. The people who appear there can be anybody. Tobik, are you opted in on there? You opted in for free, bro. Tobik, if you haven't already, and anybody out there, if you haven't already, go on Expand. And actually right here, exclamation point raffle there, exclamation point rewards. Opt in for those rewards. It's free. You just pay literally a less than 1 penny transaction. You have to be on Polygon, blah yada. It's a Polygon transaction. But yes, it is free, folks. And anyone who's a community creator is going to be able to use this tool themselves. This is what these DCL DAO, this is, and trust me, you do this, people will approve you for another grant. Build for the community. The money's there. You don't have to worry about it. Build for the community. And it's important that when I say for the community, I really mean for the community. Not for yourself, but in pretending to be for the community. Like if you build genuinely for the community. It can also serve your own goals. But what I mean by pretending is like if you don't even have a real plan to build what you are saying you're going to build. Tobik, that's why I love you, bro, because you are skeptical, but you're also like in a respectable way, and in many ways a funny way. Yeah, no, it is amazing, folks, and I just want to say I'm not going to take complete credit because the Expand team, if it wasn't for their talent and technical ability and their vision to jump on board with us and do this with us, trust me, this would not have been possible. But I can tell you, and I will put myself, like, not in the sense of taking credit, but putting my credibility on the line. I personally have put my heart and soul into designing this system to solve a problem I'm deeply impacted by. And I know other content creators are deeply impacted by, and is limiting the Web3 space. So if there's anyone who can create a solution for airdropping and community management in a way that's engaging, exciting, folks, it's your boy. Let's get into it. All right. I'm going to quickly take 15 minutes to go through this presentation. And then the remainder of our time is going to be workshopping. So get yourselves ready. I'm going to be asking you questions and asking you to do things. All right, let's get started. Okay, Accelerate on Earth, advancing problem solving in the metaverse, leveraging targeted funding for research and development. R&D is the hardest thing to fund. Here's your opportunity. Writing a grant for the Decentraland DAO. People are probably going to be watching this afterwards, so I just want to start by saying if you want to find out more, make sure you go to imagineonearth.com or the decentralandreport.com. What we cover, what we're going to cover today is what are DCL grants used for, who can apply, what has been funded before, who will decide on the outcome of your grant, what kinds of grants are there, any special tips to keep in mind, and then we're going to go through our workshop section. If you're here in person, you get to enjoy the workshop section. If not, if you're watching this on demand later, then just learn from what other people and adapt those ideas to what you're doing. What are Web3 grants used for? Simply put, solving a problem. It's not for your next fashion line. It's not for you to create videos. It is to solve a problem. Creating videos is a means to an end. Are you solving a problem? Are you solving a problem that no one else is currently solving? Before applying for a DAO grant, you have to immerse yourself and connect with the metaverse community. Point blank. This will give you the clearest insight on the importance of the problem that you are solving and whether there is a larger problem that should be addressed first. Perfect example. Sometimes people want to create, and launch DAO grants for things that aren't pressing and most important. For instance, people who want to apply for marketing grants, like maybe a grant that's for putting on a marketing campaign for Decentraland. When if you are immersed in the community, you'd understand that the large community sentiment is actually Decentraland hasn't been ready for scaling because the experience still was clunky. We're still generating the client, which is ultimately really important towards accessibility. So if we spend money on marketing right now, we're not really doing a good job at capturing the most impact of those marketing dollars. What is most important problem that we address first is that we build a client so that more people with less technical and hardware specifications will be able to actually access Decentraland when they see that marketing. You see, yes, marketing is a problem, but there was actually a bigger problem before that the community at large, the hive mind, really understood needed to be addressed, and that's why marketing proposal wouldn't get approved. Let's go. Let's go. Tobik with the gifted sub. Much love, brother. It absolutely can be a solution, but but you see the context that I'm telling you about. Simply spending money and getting the message across that you're going to market Decentraland isn't an effective way to actually get your grant passed if you're going to make some videos. You could still have the same grant proposal, but you communicate it differently and you align what you're doing to a specific problem that is more relevant and should be more immediately addressed. It will get approved. So you didn't have to actually change anything. It's just the scope in which you frame your problem. Who can apply? And let me see if anyone has any questions about that. Try and make it clear if it's a question, just so I can make sure I see that. Like put question, blah, blah, blah. Tobik. You spreading that, you dropping that wisdom. That is big facts. That is big facts. Who can apply? Each grant will have its own requirements based on the sponsoring organization. So whether that's DCL, you're going to have different requirements than if you have something like the Landworks DAO grants. Like, so for instance, if you do something for the DCL DAO, you're not going to necessarily, you're going to have different constraints than when you're doing the Landworks grant. Landworks, when you create this is going to be an open scene grant program. So you design something that anyone can use. So it's going to be an open source thing that you build. And they're asking for specific types of builds and different categories. So there is a specification that you have to go look into. Grants may request specific terms such as open source your build, as we just said, and anyone can apply really. But the only ones who are going to be approved are those who are actually serving the community and are convincing enough that they have the skills and the ability and the passion and the commitment to follow through and execute on that. And there are different ways in which you can demonstrate that. What has been funded before? Content creators, game and experience developers, even things like feature development. People got approved for developing the VR component for Decentraland, or a top-down view of our map. Different features or creator tools, social services, health services, you name it. These DAO grants are limited by our imagination and what we want in our world as a community, which is pretty vast, and there hasn't been as much exploration yet. I think we have barely scratched the surface. So the more the things get done, the harder it will be to do things, because people will say, well, that's already been done. Why should we fund it again? So really right now is your best opportunity to get funded before everything's really been done. Who will decide on the outcome of my grant? Decentralized voting power. We're talking name holders, delegated voters, votes, typo. Public consensus. So things that happen on social media definitely take that into impact and sway people like delegates and their voting power. Landholders, mana holders. So typically these DAOs that hold these grants, they're decided, and these funds are decided upon people who hold the NFTs and the assets in that ecosystem. In Decentraland, that is names. It can be land, mana. People can delegate that voting power. Like me, myself, I'm actually the fourth most, the highest voting power has been delegated to me, because people see how much I care about making and educating the people in this space. So that's why I take it very serious in doing sessions like this. But there are also other communities like Jadu AR, which, by holding their assets, their AR assets, their hoverboards, whatever it may be, that'll be your voting power. So many different things. In the Landworks, it is a panel of judges. It's not a voting power thing. So for Landworks, every 20 days, they're going to have a panel of 5 people reviewing, and the people who are ready, they're going to send the money, just like that. For the DCL DAO, it's like, pretty much like 2 weeks for voting, and then 1 month. Then after that, you get like a cliff before you get the funds. So, each one, quicker, but either way, we're talking like 2 months to get access to grant funding. That's unheard of. That's a beautiful thing, bro. Make sure you research the previous grants to target the right people. This is the thing, is like, if you want to find out, we're going to go through this like in these different sessions. This is like an overview. But make sure that you know who you're writing your grant for. So when writing your grant, you need to really make sure you research previous grants to make sure you're understanding who you're targeting as an audience, who the voting power belongs to, and what are the things that are of interest to them. Don't complain. It's not going to get you to your goal. Understand the system, understand how it works, tailor your message, and get your bag so you can build what you're here to build. Make sure you go back and review approved grants. Those are listing on those approved grants. You will see the listed people who voted for that grant. Let's go ahead and see right here. You can go here and you can read people's comments. You can click snapshot and you can go ahead and see the people's address. Some of them sometimes can have the name, but like right here, OX52, like this person has 600K voting power. I want to know who this is. 100%. I want to know who this is. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to open this. I'm going to copy his ETH address. You can find that in the URL. I'm going to go to OpenSea. I'm going to paste that in here. And now I can go and see, okay, right here. This is I think it might be HP. I recognize his profile picture. HP Provacos right here. So now I found his name. And I even know where his land is right here. So I can go track him down, and I can already account with, maybe I can convince him, you should be getting the votes for your DAO before it even hits the DAO. So I already know who this is. I can even you can go on Discord and even like search for this person's name. If you go to the DCL DAO Discord, which, yes, all of these places, you can go to the Discord for that community. They have a channel Further DAO, and you can type his name in, HP Probakos, and you'll find that person. You just send him a message. There's a lot of ways that you can do it. You have to be an investigator, folks. Find these people right here. If you're trying to get a grant right here, you could just target the top 4 people. Morris Mustang. And these people are committed to voting on things. So if you can convince these 4, 5 people, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 people who really care about Decentraland, to care about what you want to build, that's it. You don't need to chase down everybody. So make sure you're using that list. You're using that. We're going to show you more in depth these steps. This is we're just getting started. But I hope drop a 9 in chat if I'm already blowing your mind right now. Metaverse genius. I can't agree, but I can't agree that sometimes you need to ignore certain voters. I wouldn't agree his vote is useless. I obviously think that's not true. But I will say that sometimes you need to know which battles to fight. Maybe you can't go for certain people. Maybe you're not going to get their vote. That's totally fine. You don't need their vote. Sherry Berry, mind blown. She knows. This is how we do it, folks. This is how we do it. And why do we do it? Because there is opportunity here, folks. Already, just this year, I think, just through this year, I think it's been. Just this year, we're looking at 84 proposals approved. Over $5 million in grant funding has been given to people within the creative economy to build the metaverse of Decentraland. They're not making decisions for all of DCL. They just have a heavily weighted vote. They're not the only people. That's like 3 or 4 people who've been delegated the most voting power. Actually, if you were to look at it, you would say like the people with the most voting power are the districts. Vegas district, all these districts, they have all this land. They have huge amounts, millions of voting power, much more than the 100,000 that you're seeing right there. You can complain about it, or you can learn how to use how to navigate it. My job here isn't to criticize the system. My job is here to make sure that you are empowered to be successful in the system. So I'm not here to, we can talk about what it can be better, but to be honest, I hate politics. I'm not a politician. I'm a creator. I like to build, and I've learned how to navigate the world to allow myself to build the things I care about. I'm not just talking out of my butt, folks. I'm not like, I let my words speak for themselves. I've created things that people wonder whether or not that was even possible. And I've found ways to fund those builds. I don't like drama. That's right. Everything is politics. I just don't buy into the politics. Folks, trust me. I do not. Like, that's like, for me, I just want my little piece of land. I'm here to build. I'm here to create. Leave the drama. What are kinds of grants that are approved? So we have grants for content creators. This is actually the spread as of, I checked on August 1st. Right now, the current grant. So you can see it's spread out evenly among platform, community, gaming, content creators. So, folks, this is beautiful. Like, there's an even spread, an even opportunity for everybody here. And here are the special tips to keep in mind. Solve a problem. Solve a problem. That's number 1. But when you dig into it, it seems only certain people get... So, shake and bake, I totally appreciate that. I know you're not complaining about it. I'm just saying, in general, a lot of people do complain about these things. And when you dig into it, like, it seems only certain people get approved for grants. To be honest, that is an indicator. Why do only certain people get approved for grants? Shake and bake. Because those people have built trust within the community. They have built credibility within the community. Anyone can have an idea. Few people can earn trust. Few people can demonstrate credibility. Few people can communicate a message that clearly solves a problem. Even sometimes people come in and they want to solve a problem and they make this mistake. They request funding for land. Do not request funding for land. I'm going to cut that to the chase real quick. That will get you quickly denied in the DCL DAO grant. Don't ask me why. We could talk about why, but there's no what value do we get from explaining why? Just know the reason why people don't want you just getting something people worked so hard, like the landowners are think of it like the House of Representatives. People had to earn that place in there in many ways and purchase and invest, and the people don't think it's right for just a DAO grant to fund people, which you should be. Because why? Because there are other ways that you can get land. You can get land right here on Landworks. You can easily come to Landworks and just as simple as searching price, status, you can rent here. Look, $1.61 a day. You can have a piece of land in Decentraland. Don't tell me you need thousands of dollars to get land in Decentraland. We're cutting to the chase on that right quick. Quantify your impact as much as possible. People need to put 2 and 2 together. So put some numbers on the board, please. Address the sustainability of your project. Don't just build something that people are going to think of as a one and done. The more you can think of it as something that has sustainable growth, the DAO is going to invest in this and it's going to continue to provide value over time. Without more investment from the DCL DAO, the better, right? The more likely it's going to get approved. The thing on expand, the community rewards, $120,000 got approved because it's going to be sustainable. Anyone's going to be able to use it. It's going to continue to exist. We don't need another DAO grant to create another tool like that for the community, right? Start with small grants to prove yourself. I started with a small DAO grant myself. I think the first, let's see. The first one I did was... The first DAO grant which I got, which was approved, was for 500 USD, folks. 500 USD. So if you really want to talk the talk and walk the walk and do the approach that I've done, then I'm going to put the numbers in your face right here. Go read back on this first DAO proposal. I'm dropping this in chat. This is my first ever DAO proposal. First ever DAO proposal. Notice for 500. Now look at this. 1,800 on the second one. Here we go. The next, but look at this. Look at this. The first one, I had 19 voters for $500. The second one, we had 33 voters. Why? Built credibility. These 19 people probably told at least one person, right? 19 plus 19. We almost doubled there, our voters. Now 33. Oh, look at this one. 151 voters. But still, only 1 million voting power. What does that mean? What does that mean? Put 2 and 2 together. What does that mean? Think about the mentality of the whales. Whales do not want to be coming back to vote on every proposal that you have. They don't want to. They want to vote on things that they see the community they actually use the community vote to also influence them whether or not they should be voting on. Of course, they want to take they don't want to be the single purveyors of decisions in Decentraland. Boom. 151 votes, but we still got 1 million voting power. What does that mean? Less whales, more regular people. That's good. That's healthy for the community. And then here we have the latest one. 125 votes, 5 million voting power. Why? Because the whales will step in when they need to. And this is my biggest grant that I applied for. And it won't be my last. But before going on to the next one, I'm here with you. So this is very important. Make sure that you start small and you prove yourself. Yes, our goal is to make $1 million in grants that get approved into our community in 1 month, but we're not going to start there. I'm not expecting that this first round. I'd rather you all be super genuine and come through with small grants that you know that we can prove. And then that we execute that, and that you come do another round next month, or maybe next month you don't even need me. You just go on to the next one because you've got that for yourself. And then you create a Big Nasty, Accelerate Big Nastily program, and you teach other creators on how to do this stuff. Use tools like Gitbook to expand the space given on your official application. If you have a larger application that you're doing, make sure that you're using the right mediums to convey your message. Do not rely on just the space they give you here. As you can see on this one, I was able, like, smaller $1,800 grant. I have my YouTube videos. I have some metrics. I have some breakdowns and cost analysis. I didn't need a grant. I didn't need a big piece of paper to explain that. Same one here. It's a smaller grant, $5,000 grant. But you need to know right here, you get to the 60,000, the 30,000, the 20,000, 120,000. That's a big plan, and chances are you're not going to have enough room in this to explain that. That's pretty much like you should be ready to present your vision to an investor, and you can't present an investor. This needs to be a gateway. When you get to these larger numbers, this DAO proposal becomes a step for you to interest a whale to want to vote in your DAO proposal. So you can see here, I used Gitbook in order to house my bigger explanation, my bigger designs, UI mockups, visual explanations, things that are gonna really convey the message and meaning. Also, presentations, pitch decks, for instance, can be very useful as well. I'm going to show you right here. This is the first DAO grant that was ever approved, $5,000. This is a DAO grant that actually myself and my partner collaborated on. Look, we had a whole pitch deck. Actually, this is deleted online. Unupdated versions online in the page. But you get the idea. You want to use pitch decks, presentations, all these kinds of things when you're going for larger amounts. Do not limit yourself to the space that they give you to convey your message. And this kind of like touches on a bigger philosophical point, which is don't let anybody put you in a box. Don't let anybody tell you how to be your best self or how to best communicate your vision. If you feel like macaroni art is the way to explain what you do, if you are really, truly deep in your heart convinced of that, then I want to see macaroni art. Don't stick to the boxes that people put you in, because that's not the formula for success in Web3. That's not the formula of success here with Imagine on Earth. Keep a matter of perspective. We should not feel entitled to anything just because we think of a cool idea outside of the box. Maybe we think we found a solution. We shouldn't feel entitled to any money or any opportunity to. If people give us an explanation or give us feedback as to why something can be better or different or isn't necessary right now, let me give you some advice in advance and to say there's two paths that can take you. You can get offended and you can take it personally and say, screw this, I'm not going to be here because these people don't know. Or you can say, I actually do care about improving the space enough, and I think there is an opportunity. Maybe sometimes you see a space that there's not an opportunity. Maybe people, they are closed-minded, narrow-minded, they're benefiting from a closed system that only benefits a few. And you say, I don't believe this can be fixed because the infrastructure of it isn't there to allow me to fix it or for it to change. Healthcare, like in other cases, in you might say there still is a chance. So keep yourself in perspective, but don't feel that entitlement, because I've seen a lot of people fail and leave a good opportunity behind because of that perspective. Vote on DAO proposals yourselves to get a sense of what the community is interested in and what the turnoffs are. Please don't make your DAO proposal the first time you interact with the DAO. Go into the DAO, and if you really want to get your stuff approved, then you're going to need to learn. You're going to need to research. You're going to need to investigate. There's going to be a lot of work to be done between now and next week. And now this brings us to our next part of our session, which is the workshops. Before showing this, I want to check any questions. Anyone on the channel, anyone have any questions they want to ask? Anything I went over there that they might want to go in more on detail?
No, those would be good.
Awesome. Do you guys feel like this is all stuff you know though, or do you feel like at least like do you like tell me like are people, do you think that what I'm saying here is gonna, because I also want this content to be useful for people who are just discovering DAO grants. Do you feel like we covered the essentials? Do you feel like there's something here that we might want to add for other people who are learning about these kinds of opportunities?
I feel like you covered a lot of really good information. I learned some things that I, didn't know about, especially like pricing and asking for the correct price and building trust. I think all that's really important that a lot of people don't think about beforehand.
Amen, man. Well, I'm happy those little details, those are your fine lines that are going to guide your viewer, your voter to decide, yes, those are those. Chris, did you have something, or MetaTrackers, do you want to add something?
Man, what's up? Why you get Chris, MetaTrackers? What's my name? You gave me two names.
Well, you have two names on your username.
I got a question, Kevin. And it's really what somebody asked in the chat and Twitter. What happened with JTV? I don't know the whole story. I just know he's somebody that provides a lot of value. He's like you, very active, and so he didn't get the grant. If he didn't, why not? That's somebody that constantly provides to the community. What was the shortcoming at?
I like it. Why didn't JTV get approved? I think that's a great case study for us to review. I made a note here. I'm gonna make that a point to discuss before we, for 5 minutes or so before we go into our workshops. Are there any other questions?
Yes. I got one. Yeah, so first of all, thank you for the information. And second of all, I wanted to ask you, when you were mentioning that you can see the names of the people who vote, do you think it's okay, like, if you saw that, I don't know, like, someone vote no on your proposal, let's suppose you, Kevin, vote no on my proposal, then I go on Discord and I tell you, hey, Kevin, like, why you vote no? Could you give me insight? Like, do you think it's okay to try to convince people?
Absolutely. Not convince people. I think, if anything, you should want to learn from people. I think you should go to them and learn. Don't go there with the intent of trying to change their vote. Go there with the intent of actually learning why they voted no. If they are mistaken about something, you might correct them and say, oh, no, actually this. But you know what? I just realized now that wasn't clear. The way I communicate, if they are either A, misunderstood something or didn't like something, either way you want to know. So your goal to reach out to them, yes, you should, but it shouldn't be to change their vote. It should be to understand why they voted no so that you can come back and change that. Like, it might be something fairly simple as, maybe somebody thought like they needed you to start with, like, maybe you had a timeline of 3 milestones and they wanted you to just start with the first milestone. Maybe it could be something as simple as that, so I would say don't go to convince them, but definitely reach out to understand why, because that is your best resource after applying for a grant. I think Taxir is a great example of that. They applied for a grant, they learned, and they're here ready to apply for their next one, and I for one am going to continue to support them because I can see that they're wanting to grow. And I think that is another thing. If people vote no and then if you go there and you try to change their mind, you might burn your reputation. If you go there and you ask what can be better, and then you adjust and take that into account, and you change that and you apply again and you message them, hey, I've changed this, and then you're gonna earn points, you're gonna get props, you're gonna be like, wow, they really listened to me, I'm gonna vote yes on this. Like, so if anything, I would say a vote no is actually a better opportunity than no vote at all. You're actually more in risk of, I would say, it's like, whether they talk about me or talk good or talk bad, at least they're talking about me, and that definitely takes play in here. Like, you're better off that than nobody voting.
Yes, but when that account, for example, is like anon, but you can still, is it a bad idea? Because I think you have seen like some wallets that they're empty, or they move like some money and they start voting. Let's suppose like an account is anon, but you still know who is that person behind. Like, do you think that should be like a bad idea to track down that person?
I reach out to them. I don't care. I'll reach out to them.
Even if they're trying to hide themselves behind an empty wallet.
I don't care.
Okay.
It depends how much voting power they have. If they have 600, 500, 200, even 20K voting power, if it's that much of a difference, number one, if it's only 20K voting power, I probably wouldn't, because it's not worth my time, because depending on the size, I'd rather be like, okay, this person voted no, but let me go find some of these other people with like maybe 100K or like 80K voting power. I'd go talk to them, but if it was somebody with 100K, 200K voting power voting no, I'd be like, I don't, you voted no. I don't, you might be hiding behind a curtain, but you still have an opinion on what I'm doing, enough that it's going to sway my future and whether or not I achieve my dreams. I'm not here to change your mind, but I care so much about what I'm doing. I'm going to come find you and I'm going to find out why. Not to change your opinion, but because I genuinely want to know, what do I need to do better to make this something where the people who have the voting power and influence and care for the community to vote in the DAO, I want to know why they're deciding the thing. So if they take it personally, if they take it offensively, that's on them. I don't, I can't control their emotions. I only, like, if I offend them, like, with how I speak, then that's my fault. But, my desire to want to know how to improve myself to achieve my dreams and my goals as a creator, I'll never apologize for anybody.
Okay. And third question and last question is, do you think projects should be able to eventually leave the DAO, or they need to be kind of like parasites?
No, they should always they should from the beginning have the anticipation of never getting funded by the DAO, or at least having a phased process in your goal. Like, you shouldn't apply for something and know that you have to come back and apply for more and not take that into account into your goal. Your goal in this DAO proposal should always have in mind how what you're applying for on this occasion is ideally should always be sustainable. This what comes back to this other point right here. Address the sustainability of your project. Do not be a parasite. And it's not to say that anyone's expecting you from first go from $500 that you're going to grow. No, like, I started with 500, I grew to 120K. There's one project that I did that is in a 3-phase process. Like, phase 1 was research, phase 2 is build, phase 3, and like, we build phase 1. Now we're going to present, and like, we're going to start to build phase 2. So like, definitely, you can always come back and extend and achieve new things on your roadmap, but I think it's our duty in applying to make it clear that we are not being parasitic on the DAO, and that we should be building things in a sustainable manner. And that means, like, for instance, as an example, one of the things in our, when we built this right here, the $120,000, we said, great, like, we get 90% of the subscriber revenue on Expand. So it's more sustainable to do this than it is on any other platform. And in addition, every month, we're going to mint these Meta Moment wearables, which are going to be put into the marketplace, that people can purchase these wearables every month that we drop, that can fund, the ultimate sustainability of our editors, directors, stuff like that. So, so far, to be honest, the Meta Moments wearables have not proven to be sustainable for like what we're doing. We haven't sold that many of them. There have been some people who want to support and do, but like, mostly the people who are supporting what we're doing are those people who are subscribing on Expand. And those people earn those Meta Moments wearables for free. So like, in a way, those Meta Moments wearables are showing that it's actually not going to be sustainable by selling in the marketplace. Those Meta Moments wearables are going to make things sustainable because they're, worthwhile for people to subscribe on the DCL Report channel, because they get a 10 mana cost wearable at $5 a month every month. So they're saving $5 on this wearable each month. There's going to be a perk at the end of the year. So in that way, we design this with sustainability in mind, and it does have to be part of it. But no one's expecting, I don't think it's like fair to say like, nothing, everything doesn't always go to plan as an entrepreneur, as a creator, and we can only anticipate so much. So, you try to do your best and plan for sustainability, certainly, but, don't come back 3 times asking for the same thing and expect it to get funded, Does that answer your question, Tobik?
Yes, it does. Can I ask you one last question? When it comes to expand, how is the way they pay to the creators?
They have
crypto.
They disperse the donations and the support, like, so all the subscriptions and the donations, they get sent distributed across all the moderator PayPal accounts. So any moderator, anyone who's on your team, they can enter their PayPal. They give the community leader the PayPal address, their PayPal email address, and when you disperse your funds, it'll evenly send across those PayPal addresses.
But isn't like there a way to receive the money in USDC or any other crypto instead of PayPal?
Currently, because that would mean that, because people are subscribing, when they subscribe, they're doing it with a credit card, or to subscribe. So all that money is coming in through cash. There is no like automated system right now to convert that cash into crypto and distribute that. Although I think that could be possible, but for now that's not there, so we couldn't distribute it in USDC.
Mm-hmm. No, because the problem is that in many countries PayPal is like more a problem than a solution, and that's why I was asking you, like, if it's against their toes to basically charge the subscriptions outside the platform. But I guess they wouldn't like that, because they are providing their services and you are charging the subscriptions in another place. Like, I don't think they will personally like that. So
I mean, put it this way, Expand is not like Twitter, Facebook, these other platforms that are so developed that they don't want to hear your opinion. Expand, if you want to sit down, if anybody wants to have a conversation with the CEO of Expand, I can introduce you to that person. And you can have the conversation with them and explain to them your ideas. And they're tremendously open-minded. Literally, they walk the walk. I mean, they're walking the walk. Look at what they've built and look at what they're doing. They're continuing to build. Like, they're literally, after we're done with this build, the next grant that we apply is going to be to build a smart object, a DCL Report smart object, or I say community page smart object, where community owners on Expand will have a smart object that they can place in DCL that'll pipe in the content that they create and they post here on their community page dynamically into Decentraland. So So imagine if you could have right now we only have a Twitter link connect, right? Imagine if you had a smart object in Decentraland that had your content from your social media instead of just a link to it.
Okay, yeah, it makes sense.
So literally, like, Expand is boots on the ground builders. They're not like, don't think of them as like another oblivious Web 2 social media platform. I don't like that needs to pay their way to hire the best talent to have some clue of what's going on, but there's still some massive organization that has so much difficulty in getting and mobilizing innovative thinking across large organizations that they can't keep up. That's just the reality, and how like the difference between startups and big organizations is. It's not their fault. It's just the difficulty in getting so many people on the same page. But yeah, I mean, that's to say, I think it's time for us to move on to our workshop, section number 1. If anyone else has any questions, just drop it in the Discord channel. I'm gonna, and actually in the second part of this workshop is going to be something for what we're gonna address this, what Tobik asked, Chris asked, why didn't JTV get approved? But I'm gonna start with section number 1, which is we're gonna use the DCL DAO page to find at least one grant like yours which has been passed. So I want you all to go onto the DCL DAO page right now. You're going to go into this grant filter, And if you scroll down, you can see filter by status. You're going to go to past. And I want everybody to go through and find one that's been passed. And you can also filter by time frame, and I'm going to say do something in the last 90 days. We'll do, oh, actually we can do all, even better. And actually you'll see that you want to look at past and enacted, because past means it's been passed but they haven't been given the funds yet. Enacted means it's been passed and they've been given the funds. So if you're also going to want to look at enacted, because a lot of them have already been given the funds. So as you can see, there's like 4 pages of grants here. And on the past, there's about like just 4 of them. So if you have found one, I'm gonna give you all a second. But once you find one, drop a message.
I found one.
Oh, here we go. Who is it?
Big Nasty.
Big Nasty. Let's go. Big Nasty, which one are you looking at?
I'm looking at Sango's full process wearable creation and submission tutorials.
Okay. Let's go take a
And
look.
I think it's interesting.
Wait 1 second. Which one? It's under enacted, right? Oh, here we go.
I think it's interesting because, you know, it's cool because he's showing you how to make every, I guess, kind of object or wearable. Like if you go down in the description, he says like modeling all that stuff. And I think it's a good project. And I think what it kind of aligns with ours, except ours is more in detailed, I guess, foundational building, I guess, for Blender.
Look how he broke down the specifications of what he was going to build tutorials for.
Yeah.
You're going to want to take this into account and copy as much as you possibly can. Like,
Yeah,
not as in like copy paste, but, you know, like copy what he's doing. How he's...
So, I already have, me and Ahmad spent a lot of time writing out a proposal already. And yeah, we've detailed all of the steps and what we're gonna be doing in each video. We have like each video in sections where there's gonna be like an explaining video first, and then a practical application of what we explained in the previous video.
And do you have like an amount that you're asking for?
We were thinking 3,000.
Okay, I would say that does make sense. It's definitely within the range of what we're talking here. But at least if I was your entrepreneurial coach, I would say you're leaving $2,000 on the table right now, at least by the numbers I'm seeing right now. So is there something that you can do? Because 3,000 or 5,000, I'm pretty sure you still need 1 million voting power, right?
Yeah.
So
Yes.
So I would say, for all intents and purposes, I think the only way to decide that maybe like would be contingent on, number one, do you feel like you have the same credibility and track record in building wearables as Sango? Maybe you do. And I know you do. I know you've already built and made a number of wearables, and that's something.
Yeah, I have 16 collections, and Ahmad I think has 40.
So then
I've
that should
16
absolutely be listed in your grant proposal.
Yeah.
And notice right here how he's using his roadmap and milestones so that people can hold him accountable to something.
Okay.
So you definitely want to make sure there's a point of accountability where people can look back and see and compare your results to what you said you were going to do. So I want to show you an example of that. Here, you see that he said, I'm going to make 2 to 4 videos each week. And then I'm going to go over here to, I want to show you this. So this first one that I did $500 for a video editor for my DCL report, so people could take my streams and turn those into videos and post it online. We said that we were going to do this, and I think we said we were going to do 10 videos, which would make it $50 a video, and that we would be doing this for 5 weeks. So basically, we came back in the next one, in the continued one, we said In our last one, we said we're going to do 10 videos over 5 weeks, and we had $500. That would have been $50 a video. But in the end, we ended up making 20 of these videos, so we ended up producing it at a cost of $25 a video.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So notice how, like, I set in my previous grant, I set an expectation, so I'm going to achieve this milestone. In my next one, I not only addressed it, but I addressed it in a way which showed that we had surpassed the expectation, right?
That makes sense. Yeah, that's a good detail to
add that. Set yourself up for that for your next grant. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Because I knew when I created this, I knew that $500 wasn't going to be enough for me. I need to prove that we can do this. So I said, let me get $500 so I can prove it. So that, and here I was able to prove it and get additional funding, get a much larger grant funding size, right?
Yep.
So those are ways that you can do this. And notice that I went and applied for another grant that was not a continuation. So this is like what Tobik is saying. Should they be parasitic? Like, you don't need to feel parasitic if you're asking for multiple different types of grants. If you're asking for the same thing, like if you ask for a video thing and then 2 months later you ask for another video thing and it's just the same thing, you're not solving a different problem, that's different. Here, you know, we said we're creating this one was a different altogether. So I want to say, like, to that extent, you know, you can set your milestones and say we're going to do this, but like make sure you're thinking of that in terms of what you're build. You know, you want to build on something, and that doesn't mean that everything needs to build on the next thing. You could still have other grants that don't necessarily start on their own. You know?
Yeah, we have I think like 30-ish videos mapped out completely.
Awesome.
And then we're going to do it, I think, over a 3-month period, recording and releasing the videos.
Good.
30 videos of like in detail tutorials, you know.
Excellent. And you know, to that extent, from there, once you complete that, every grant the way I like to build things that synergize with one another. So you'll see that each one of these DAO proposals that I gave, they synergize with each other. Like, they're not necessarily the same thing. Like, creating this one-of-one wearable was to get us more people on our team who would earn these wearables. And so we could get more content for our, you know, and more diversity and perspective within our content. I didn't want to just be some white guy telling the history of Decentraland, right? I wanted it to be people of all genders, colors, backgrounds, cultures. So we created this. We solved the problem. So we said, okay, the next problem we're going to solve is the rewards. We solved the problem. And all of these kind of solve different problems. So does anyone else have any DAO proposals they found that are similar to theirs?
Yeah, I do, Kevin. Where do I drop it at? In Twitch or Discord?
You can in Discord is fine. You can also talk about it. What was the name? What's the title of it? I'll bring it up on my side.
It's called Web3 and Metaverse Journalism Hackathon Sponsorship.
Oh, I'm gonna be attending that at the end of this month.
Yeah, no, I saw you there.
Hey, let's go.
Yeah, so this one, I went through all the proposals since Decentraland first got started, so now it's like 45 pages, and this is the one that I felt was kind of similar to what I wanted to do, but it's the opposite. So this, of course, is going out the country to take part in a hackathon. I think it was in Argentina or something. What I want to do is the opposite, as far as I know people that are presidential candidates like Andrew Yang. I know the Senator Ted Cruz and TBC, Texas Blockchain Council, the president and founder. I know a lot of influential people in this world, and I want to bring them inside Decentraland. I want them to come in. I want them to speak in the metaverse about what they feel about, you know, Web3 and blockchain and their experience. And then what I would like them to do as well is onboard. I would like for us to onboard their I don't want to say inferior. It's not right. Like their member companies, for example. So let me like.
Can I say something regarding to this?
Yes, sir.
I want to say that is definitely aligned with what's happening here. The key difference, because I've spoken to you about this, I think I will say what they did in their DAO proposal that made them successful was that they targeted a specific problem. They're hacking
Mm-hmm.
a problem. Journalism,
Yeah.
Web3
Mm-hmm.
journalism. They're hacking. They're not just onboarding and educating people. They're not just bringing
Yeah.
on members. They're bringing on people for a specific problem that people
Mm-hmm.
in the community care about. So I think the way that you would take the value in this is just through is overarchingly in that way, is by making sure that you're pinpointing your onboarding and and you know what you do in a way that's solving a specific problem in this particular iteration, and that from there you could go to your second grant proposal and do another thing, but you would need to bring the results of that previous hackathon or conference or whatever you call it, like however you format it. You would have to bring the results of that and say and prove to people that you solved the problem. So it's actually to your benefit in the long term that you think of this and creating this in a way that's it's like you might have a scope of things that you want to onboard people to. What is the top number one thing that is a big pain for people that you want to onboard people to? Maybe a specific process, step.
Yeah, so it's two things, Kevin. Two things. The first one is I look at us as to be the TED Talk of the metaverse. TED Talk of the metaverse. So we're bringing different people here in their communities into the metaverse to do TED Talk. That's number one. And number two is because Decentraland has a shortage of daily active users, because you know what's going on in this space, I think by us trying to onboard these people inside the metaverse will kind of help mitigate the problem we see in Decentraland as a shortage of people.
It's not convincing enough. It's not convincing enough because, and I'm going to tell you why, because I still need a problem that I need to come to you for. And I need to be able to relate to it on a personal, this is for me story. If it's just something that's in the metaverse, it's just something that's happening in the metaverse onboarding, then it's not for me. And the things that are gonna win are the things that are either for me or for people who are voting that say, hey, this is for someone, not just for everyone. So I'm saying it's a good idea, but I'm still not convinced. I think what I need is something specific that is a problem. It could be, I can't tell you for you, but I can only tell from my position. At least if you can convince me, I have a feeling you're going to convince everybody. And the only thing I'm asking from you to convince me is, what is the specific, like for instance, as an example, maybe you're going to do a Web3, like, I don't know, like democratized voice hackathon. A hackathon around specifically onboarding and getting people ready to participate and build tools that make it easier to participate in DAO. So then you would bring Andrew Yang. You say, hey, we have Andrew Yang, this guy who's a genius politician. He understands how to bring people around ideas. Then I'd be like, yo, get me in there. You didn't change anything about what you do, but it's the focus. And then from there, it's very easy for you to draw in specific segmented measures and metrics which you created value in, to say we want to do the same thing for onboarding people to being an artist, or like artists in entertainment, like event like whatever you may do. But like the more specific and pinpointed you can be, the better.
I got you. So I guess what you're saying is just saying onboarding is not enough. Onboarding to do what, solve what problem is what needs to be the answer, right?
Yes. 1,000,000 times yes. That's exactly it. And you can do a bunch of different programs that solve a bunch of different problems, but don't try and solve them all at once. Use each one as the framework for a new experience.
I got you. Thank you, Kevin. I really appreciate it.
Absolutely. And also it becomes a lot easier that way to market as well. Your messaging, who you target, who you talk to. So this is exactly why. So good job, and this is the kind of progress we want to be making. We got time for one more person here. Anybody want to bring up one they found? Okay, I will go on to the next workshop section, which is use the DCL DAO page to find at least one grant like yours, which has been rejected. Little typo there, yours. So find one like yours which has been rejected. This is what I do for every single one of my DAO proposals, folks. and I go through and I go to see why it was rejected. And it's good to look on both sides of things. I want you to take a second here, find one that has been.
Found one.
Oh, here we go, Big Nasty.
So it's from Killian. It's called Video Tutorials to Help Beginners Model / Upload Wearables on Decentraland.
Okay. Let's bring it up. I'm gonna bring it up right here. It was rejected.
Yeah.
And it was Killian. How do you spell Killian?
KILLIAN #42BA.
Okay. It's not letting me search by username. Do you want to?
Okay.
What's the title again? I'm sorry.
Video Tutorials to Help Beginners. Try searching that up.
Okay, got it.
Yeah. And I think what his issue is, it's just not enough content and not solving a new problem.
Came so close too. Look at that.
I think that's what the big issue is going through it is, he's only promising to make 3 videos. So the breakdown on that is he's making 750 USD per video, right?
Let's number one, I would say before we can assume what the issue is, let's look at any available data that we have. Number one, the data that we have is 8 votes. If these 8 votes had voted yes, this would have gotten passed. So I would say I agree with you. The amount of content could have been a determining factor. It could have been more of a motivator, but the only numbers that matter are the ones that are on the board. And the ones that matter are these 8 votes that voted against them. So the truth of what we want to find is somewhere in those 8 votes. We're going to go in here, we're going to look through our snapshot, and we're going to copy all of these. I'm going to open all of these. I'm going to see all these people who voted no, at least the top ones. Okay, so at least I got the top 3 right there. All right, I'm going to see who this first person was. JHI. Okay, so this person, Chicago booth. Let's see if we can find. So as you can see, like legit, this is this down and dirty work that gets you more successful. It's like digging in like this, like.
Interesting. Didn't even think of that.
So like let's look here. So if we go back to here, JHI, let's see if JHI made any comments on this. I do not see any.
Only 3.
Yeah, only 3 right here. So HP voted. I don't think he voted on this one. He didn't. I don't see his vote on this one. Let's see if any of these other people, because even if somebody comments down in the chat, maybe they don't even have voting power. So how much, we want to know the opinions of the people who are voting. So you want to see who the biggest voters are. We want to get their thoughts. And if they're not on here, like here, actually this is HP. So if, for instance, these biggest voters weren't on here, here's a question for somebody in the chat. Am I going to, maybe I'll read these and I'm going to get an idea of what people say in chat right here. But am I going to spend my time chasing these people if they're not the biggest voters here?
No.
I'm not. Why am I? Their opinion isn't the most valuable to me. The hour that I spend chasing and trying to convince them is not as valuable as the hour I spend trying to understand why HP voted no.
Yep, makes sense.
So if he says, have you already published any wearables? So for me, it sounds like the determining factor in what they could have done to make this a more successful grant proposal is to actually provide more credibility as to the fact that they were actually a wearable creator. Look, I would also like to see you publish a set of wearables before DAO commits to a grant. Boom. So the answer here is actually credibility, and it's actually whether or not they have shown their portfolio of works.
Okay.
So boom. Make some noise in chat. We've uncovered some truth right here. Drop some 9s.
And things to note for when we make our proposal.
Absolutely. This is the way. So I'm not trying to just show you what to think. I want to really show you how to think about this, because I think that all of you are just as talented as myself, as just as talented and intelligent as anybody else in this community. If you just see this certain way to look at things, then you're going to be able to make an exponential of impact rather than an additive impact. Let's go into this JTV grant on Exodus. So number one, I'm going to say that right off the bat, I think that the reason why this got turned down was because at the first case, he went right off the bat and he applied for $240,000. And the reason it got denied is because, at least in my opinion, he didn't do enough outward research or feedback generation around his grant before actually getting it into the DAO. All of this information that people are giving him right here could have been gathered, and the week before you actually submit your DAO proposal, everybody who's submitting is going to go to forum.decentraland.org and is going to have a little setup. They're going to post in this governance portal right here and say, hey, I'm looking for feedback, and you're going to go get feedback for your proposal in the forum, not in a DAO proposal. You're not going to wait till the DAO to get your feedback here, because these people are the people who are active in the DAO and they're voting and they're giving you are you going to wait until, no, you're going to actually put this into a forum. You're going to send this to them the same way you send out to everybody your DAO proposal when it's out on the DAO. You're going to send it to people and you're going to get people's feedback. You're going to start by giving before asking. So many people...
And this is just...
Yeah, go ahead.
It's just so funny, Kevin, and just how smart you are, because the majority of the people, they do it the opposite. They go in the DAO. I mean, they submit their grant, and then that's when they get the feedback. But you did the opposite. So I just love how tactical you are, man. Amazing.
Appreciate you. Well, it really, I tell you, the way to get these answers comes from thinking about people like your family, and they're coming over, and they're coming over for Christmas dinner. They're coming over for Ninesgiving, and how are you going to prepare for them? How are you going to communicate to them? The more you could respect them, the more you'll put yourselves in their shoes. The more you'll think about, if I was the person in their position, how would I want to receive this? Would I want somebody? How would I respect this person the most? Just by them coming up and posting something, or would it be from actually like getting to an opportunity to have some say before this is en masse? Like, so I appreciate that. I appreciate you, MetaTrekkers, and just know that like the more that you think of this as your community and your home, the more you'll put that care into how you take care of it. You know, like here's a perfect example. If you get home from work and you're hungry, for me, myself, I'll typically take some frozen whatever. Like, I'm exhausted, I don't feel like cooking, I'm just gonna pop something, I'm gonna make something. I could be working all day. I could be outside doing whatever. If my parent or my wife is gonna come visit me, or they're getting home and they're hungry, I'm not gonna just throw something frozen in the I'm not gonna throw something frozen in the oven. I'm not gonna just slap something together, because I care about them. So what's the difference there? The difference is the actual genuine love that I have for this individual and this care. It changes my approach. It gives me an energy that I can even be tired and even be like doing something that I wouldn't even do for myself, and I would be willing to do it. And it gives me a different mentality and approach. Instead of me just whooping something together by the shortest path towards victory, it makes me actually put the time and thought into how I'm going to build these things. And I think that can't be expressed enough. Like, it really is the thought process and the perspective that will take you into getting these answers in the shortest path possible. Metaverse genius getting put to sleep there. If y'all feel like if I'm ranting, please feel free to let me know. I honestly want to make sure I'm providing the most relevant information for y'all, but this is the stuff that has been useful for me, you know. So if I was JTV, I would have approached this differently. I would have definitely had this into the forum, because this is a really great proposal, great vision. He's got the credibility he's been building, but something like that could have easily gotten him the feedback that he needed to then come into his next proposal, which, let's see how it did. He needed 8 million VP and he only got 312. So I would say, number one, was he actually reaching out and building relationships with whales, or is he pushing himself away from those people to kind of say like, oh, it shouldn't be that, the smaller group of people have the biggest say, but the smallest group of people in DCL that have that much say are the people who invested the most at the earliest. Just saying. So is it so unfair to think that these people are going to be the safest people to have Decentraland's best interest in mind? I would say so. Not to say that there's not better quadratic voting systems. I think it's called a quadratic voting system. Or not a quadratic voting system. Socratic voting system. Whatever. Starts with the A. Anyways. I forget what it's called. Basically, every vote is like halved. So if you have a shit ton of voting power, it like reduces the more voting power you use. Yes or no, but vote. I don't agree with that. I don't agree with that, Metaverse Genius. I don't agree, because I see proposals. I can debunk that right now. I see proposals that have things that I agree with, but I don't want to vote yes because there's something that needs to be adjusted. So I'll put that comment in here, but I'm not going to vote no because I don't want the community sentiment to be no, because it's not no. It's just adjust and come back. So I don't think it is. I think abstaining is something that is a very common thing in voting systems. So I don't think it's yes or no, but vote. I think it's yes or no or comment. You need to comment. If you have a large amount of voting power, vote yes, vote no, or comment. But don't just tap out of the process altogether. I think the worst case scenario is no vote and no comment. And then you have no vote and a comment. And then you have no. And then you have yes. But there is something worse than no vote. It's no vote and no comment. That is the worst. Because at least if they give you a comment, they give you some feedback.
Did you see JTV's new proposal, I guess?
Oh, there's a new proposal. Excellent. I do want to see that. So let's take a look. This is an excellent learning opportunity. So I would actually say for everybody, this is definitely good homework to do over the next week while you work on so the next week you're going to be working on your DAO proposal. Use these two things of looking up, ones that have gotten passed, ones that haven't gotten passed, and look at these JTV proposals as a good way to determine, look at the feedback that people are giving and all this kind of stuff. And for me, I would say further enough, I would say like, if I was to get this passed, I would have actually started with a smaller grant size, and I would have broken my goals into smaller milestones rather than ask for the 240 all at once. I would have asked for a smaller amount to get to a milestone to prove that I was there and then go to the next one. Let's take a look at like what this current one is. I'm curious. Boom, here we go. All right, here we go. Some people still not very happy here, but I'm pretty confident. Still 240K. Would people want me to move forward, or do you want to do like a live action right now? We'll do a review of this grant and see what we think.
Live action.
We'll do some
live action.
Bring it on. Let's do it. All right, but before I do that, I'm going to just say, if you have any questions, drop it in the Discord under the Accelerate on Earth program. And this is going to be a free resource, so all this is going to be videotaped and made available for people in the future. Now, whatever, up next, we're going to definitely, next week is going to be the community feedback and grant iteration workshop. So next week, we're going to show you all about how to go out and get community feedback and how to iterate on that feedback. And we touched on some of that, but we're going to talk about more specific strategies around that next week. And I hope you'll join us for that. And drop a 9 in chat if you feel like this has been a productive session, if you feel like you've had the chance to learn or get yourself further along in your journey of building your grant proposal.
Kevin, can I ask you something?
No. Yes, you can.
Okay, I'm leaving. Bye. No, just kidding. So I was wondering, because I have recently joined AccelerateOnEarth. It's a program like where you give advice into others, or it's like a investing program too.
It's just a program. It's basically like a coaching program. There's 4 every month. We're gonna have these 4 sessions that are gonna be broken down into grant writing, getting feedback, getting your proposal submitted, and then executing and updating and community sort of update structures around so you can get your next grant. So I'm going to do those 4 sessions every month. It's going to be 2 hours every week, and it's going to repeat every month so a new group can join every month. It's a free thing, and we're going to be introducing not only coaching people towards what we're doing in the the DCL DAO grants, but also other grants like the Landworks DAO grant. So basically this is just a free program that we're doing to empower the community. And does that make sense?
But here where it says Landworks, is this like related to you?
This is not, no, none of these are actually like these aren't related. Like Landworks actually is sponsoring me to help them find builders. So in that way it is related. Like they are sponsoring my channel and me to go out and find these builders. So you'll see me on TikTok, Reels, all that, spreading noise about this grant program. But I'm not personally responsible for or like have been the one acquiring these funds. These aren't my funds. These are just funds that either these groups are asking me to help them get people to understand how to apply for them and how to get approved for them, because the issue isn't talent. Actually, the issue is just like understanding some of these basic essentials around applying. Does that make sense?
Yeah, but this Landworks specifically are, so you mean that they are giving money?
Yeah, they're giving $50,000 to me, you're saying?
No, to the projects that.
Yeah, they're giving over $50,000. They have their own, it's a separate thing outside of the DCL DAO. They have $50,000 in USDC and $50,000 in their Enter token that they're giving out for people just to create open source builds for DCL.
Okay, like it has like a certain focus, right?
Exactly,
like
exactly.
And these guys are asking you to give something else in return or not?
They're just asking me to make sure the community knows about it, spread the word so that we can have.
No, I mean the people who apply to the grant.
No,
like,
no,
if you
no.
apply to the grant.
It's free. Everything's for them. This is all community empowerment. I'm very grateful to say that I get supported by people, and I have people I coach, but I don't want to charge people that to be able to bring that value. I can do this for 2 hours for free every week and not have to charge people, because I do have clients and I do this outside of this, but like it's $250 an hour at the smallest side. So I can't charge. I'm not going to charge you, Tobik. I'm not going to charge MetaTrekkers, like people. No, I don't want to make that the point of starting. And I want to be able to, like, I believe personally, this is my own belief, is that if I'm able to get y'all to, in a couple months, get approved to build something, and you grow as an artist and you grow as a creator, you might want to come and work with me later down the line. But I don't have to do that. I don't need to come and charge you for you to grow and get that value. I'm pretty confident that working together, I could make y'all pretty successful, and that if you feel like my work here and the time that we spend as a group is valuable, and you feel like doing things one-on-one would be more valuable, then I'm all up for it. But I don't want that to make the starting point. Does that make sense, Toby?
Yeah, it makes sense. It makes sense. I think it's cool also that you're able to do it with many people at the same time,
right?
Which is more,
I love it. It's much more effective. We can make a much bigger impact, and ultimately my dream is that soon we could include universities as well in a program like this, and get like a AccelerateOnEarth program that is like 1 month that we just do with the top universities around the United States, Harvard, MIT. We get all these like SoCal, like whatever, every university around the world, doesn't even have to be just the US, like that those students who are probably beholden to student debt and they're very limited in what they can create, I would love to create a program, a masterclass that we could do with universities where we could open this opportunity up to them for free and just like, like I said, just really make this space explode with creativity. Metaverse Genius, definitely DM me. Oh yeah, man. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. Toby.
No. I just was saying that it's amazing what you are doing, and hope you also be able to open new languages.
Thank you. Well, absolutely. We need to. Everything that I'm doing from the DCL report to AccelerateOnEarth is meant to be a guiding post for other people who I know are just as talented, more intelligent, have more skills than I do, who can see how I do this and do it simply, and we can keep doing this for more people. And so this is just the start. I do want to say some final notes here before I'm going to jump through really quickly in 5 minutes and just look through this Exodus grant. I can probably tell you I'm going to vote yes because I do believe in JTV. And sometimes that's just the way it is. You prove that you're around. You prove that you're building. JTV just released the fishing game, and I believe that he's serious about building this, and I want to see this money enter the creative economy of Decentraland. So as long as there are no glaring issues, I'll most likely vote yes on that. Before I do, I want to say that a little curveball for y'all. Week 3, you will be asked to pitch your DAO proposal. This is something that people don't do, and this is going to be something that we're going to be doing for the first time because I'm going to be personally reaching out to all the whales I know to make sure that they hear about what we're doing, and I'm going to have them see you as more than just an application, but as real creators. I want you to build a relationship with them the same way I have, and a lot of that comes from being face-to-face, as you can see here on my stream. So I will be asking. If you don't want to, you don't have to, but I will say it probably will lessen your opportunity of success. But on week 3, people will be asked to pitch something like a 5-minute pitch of your DAO grant, little 5-minute Q&A. And in that way, we can go through and hear people's vision, from their own mouths, not just a piece of paper, but really hear it from their own mouths. And I think in that way, we can also increase the success chance. So, everything in line, and make sure if you have any questions, let me know in the Discord, and I'll be happy to answer them. Without further ado, I'm gonna go through this, and let's see what happens. I got 150K voting power to give away here, so let's see. Exodus, goodbye. I know what Exodus is. Ambitious metaverse role-playing game, intent on becoming an immersive play-to-earn experience. It is currently on a 7x7. It's true. Our goal is to create a fun and vibrant gaming community, which they already do. Is a very classic format model, and you don't always have to reinvent the wheel, folks. Our experienced team of programmers, designers, and support. There are no, I feel it's kind of like a Rust type game, and I don't see too many Rust type games, so I think there is a uniqueness to it. Decentraland DCL allows for an immersive amount of personal creativity and freedom. DCL creates the opportunity to engage others in a novel way in an expansive virtual space, be that by attending concerts, galleries, or playing games. We seek to expand on the gaming options within DCL by building Exodus, Goodbye World. We feel that, I love the name by the way, we feel that having a larger scale, frequently updated game within the DCL platform will provide years of entertainment, financial value to the community. It will help drive increase user traffic into DCL and overall DCL gaming scene, which is definitely a problem. We want to increase the daily traffic. Exodus aims to be a massive, immersive, and create an engaging player experience. We already know this from but feel free to read through this. Whether the focus is design or software, the team, they want to build this. Okay, very dope. Specification. Exodus has already started its beta. Throughout the beta, we'll be creating and adding portions of the game on regular schedule. Before launching the beta, worked passionately on the front end. Yes, they did a lot of great work. They already have their beta. Did go live on the 20th. They've created and added a lot. They got a little YouTube video here. I like the YouTube video.
Goodbye World It's an MMO style game built in the Decentraland metaverse at coordinates 127,44. We're calling it an MRPG.
Let's go. Metaverse role-playing game.
Role-playing game. There's several things you can start doing. It's currently in a beta.
Love it. Okay, I already love it. This is already for me. Boom. Look at this. Look at this. Beautiful. Beautiful. Notice he didn't, you don't need to make it a GitHub. You don't need to make it a presentation, but he has something here. He has something here which allows you to him the space he needs to communicate his goal. Our team consists of 16 team members and continues to grow. We are a group of video game enthusiasts, etc. Our team includes leadership. Here we go. This is just their leadership right here. And it is better if you do have at least some names behind the people. I will say it's not required, but it is better. It is not required. As long as there's one person who's going to be held accountable for it, I think that is definitely sufficient. Funding division here. Okay, 125K on engineering, 75 on marketing, 25K on miscellaneous, 15K is miscellaneous. Okay. Roadmap milestone, current milestone achievements. So they've already launched a couple things here. Current milestones. Okay. Good proposal, all above content. Let's see what people are saying. Voted yes. Oh my God, Maraz, which is one of the top people here, voted yes.
It's one of the creators of Decentraland.
Yeah, exactly. One of the founders, right?
Yeah.
What's his name? I forget off the top.
I think
Esteban. I know there's Manuel. There's Esteban. I know.
Manuel, Shemel, Esteban, and Ari.
Hey, let's go. I'm gonna vote yes. If the for me, there you go. I mean, if the founder of one of the founders of Decentraland says yes, dare I need to go further? For me, I mean that's sometimes that's just how the world works. People they not only make a decision on their own, they also have to think about what other people say. I was already gonna vote yes on it, but seeing that was for me definitely like, yes, the community is behind it. We're ready to see this go through. So congratulations. I hope we see this passed. I think very much so. And actually, I'm gonna post this right now. Voted yes.
As someone who works on Exodus, I know that JTV and just like the whole rest of the team have been working night and day to get, everything out there in a timely manner, I think a lot of what people miss when looking at the Exodus proposal is that JTV's plan is to make everything in quick succession so that like new stuff is coming out all the time and there's new things for people to do. Like this game isn't gonna be stagnant, for months on end.
Totally. I think he's shown that execution, and I applaud him for that. I think a lot of people can't handle the heat, frankly put. JTV can not only can he handle the heat, but he can cook. That man can cook.
He can cook.
I'm
Walter
looking forward.
White.
Oh yeah, whole squad out here. Well, I'm excited to see what that comes. And folks, there you go, $240,000, hopefully coming into the community, and we got a lot more ahead. Will you be joining us next week? That's up to you. Maybe you've tapped out. I don't know. That's up to you. I'm not here to make your dreams come true. I'm just here to point in a direction here that's going to help you get there. All right, y'all. I appreciate y'all stopping through. I appreciate everybody. And I hope you got value from this session. Next week, we're going to be talking about getting feedback. The week after that, you have your pitch day. And then the week after that is even more important. It's how to make sure you execute, follow through, update so you can get your next DAO proposal. All right, y'all. I had fun. I will be back online at 7 p.m. So another 6 hours, and I'll be back for my regular report. So I hope to see y'all then.
Hey, Kevin, can I talk to you real quick after stream?
I do have another call. I can take 2 minutes, but I do have to run.
Okay.
All right.
And Kevin, last thing, I'm sorry. Would this be recorded? You will upload this?
Yeah, so this is actually streaming on Twitch right now, and it will be uploaded to our YouTube page. So if you want, you can always check it on my Twitch, but it's also going to be uploaded on my YouTube channel, so you can catch it there as well.
All right. Thank you so much, Kevin.
Appreciate
thank you guys. Take care.
Take care.
All right.